Regular viewers to this channel know the content inflicted upon them is generally a mixture of history films, making stuff, and messing around with old machines like the Oronka T3 and the Vauxhall. I rarely mention work, but today I'm going to make an exception. I've been very lucky. For the last 30 years, various flying jobs have taken me all around the world, including to that rather cold bit at the bottom. These days the Works Transport is a Global 6000, a very fine long-range business jet, and a few days ago I flew one into Paro Airport in Bhutan. The airport is in the Himalayas, about 50 miles east of Mount Everest, and lies in a valley at an elevation of 7,300 feet. Instrument approaches are published, but these are only available to approved operators following a lot of training, including simulator. For the rest of us, we have to fly in visually. Non-approved operators also have to carry a local navigator. These gentlemen are actually Airbus captains from Royal Bhutan Airlines. They fly in and out of Bhutan on a daily basis, so their advice is invaluable. We'll start the action in a moment, having just passed Takti waypoint at 16,000 feet. The visual approach starts at Takti, and our next reference is the confluence of two rivers, the Paro and the Wangchu. We've just passed Takti heading north. The autopilot and auto throttle are disconnected. The flight director is to standby. I'm now descending towards 11,000 feet to be over confluence at 11,000 feet for the left turn. This was filmed on my Samsung phone because, rather stupidly, I managed to break part of my GoPro just before I came away, and I haven't bought a replacement part yet. The phone picked up everything, including conversation from the cabin, so I've removed all the sound. If you want a gentle whooshing noise, I suggest you turn your vacuum cleaner on in the next room. This part of the film is also speeded up 4 times, just until we start the left turn. Alerts from the ground proximity warning system, that's the whoop whoop pull up system, have been inhibited for this approach, and already the terrain map is even redder than Keir Starmer. The map is warning us that we're below our minimum safe altitude. Our valley turns slightly to the northeast. The navigator advises staying on the right-hand side of the valley as we approach confluence. We're back to real-time speed now, and I briefly had a glimpse of the airfield just before the left turn at confluence. I'm aiming to cross that tree-covered ridge on the left at about 9,500 feet. We've got about 8 track miles to run to the runway now. The airfield can now be seen just in the right hand side of the picture. We can't make a beeline for the runway threshold though, because there's a ridge in the way. You'll spot a white building on the right-hand side above a small cliff face. The observer advises to fly past that building in the descent. That gives about the right profile. We're now going to make an S-turn to the left and then the right to line up with the runway. There's a mast on the ridge that's coming down from the left. It's not very easy to see in the film. It was far more easy in real life. We aim to fly over the mast in the left turn and then turn right to line up with a white house which is on the extended centre line. I disconnected the auto throttle ages ago. If I hadn't done so, now would be a good time. One of the limitations of auto throttle is that it works through the radio altimeter, and if it senses the ground very close, could close the power levers. This would not be a good thing. There's quite a ground rush as we get lower as well. The true airspeed, because of our altitude, is nearly 15% higher than the indicated airspeed. The wind is reported as calm, so our ground speed is approximately 138 knots. Touchdown was smooth, but my phone, precariously balanced at the bottom of the windscreen, fell over. I rolled to the end of the runway, using reverse idle only. I didn't want to get the brakes too hot because we weren't staying for very long. We had quite a lot to do on a short turnaround, and this was a work day, not a messing around making YouTube films day, but I did take a few pictures outside. I hope I go to Bhutan again. It was absolutely splendid. And so from the sublime to the ridiculous. I was recently messing around with camera positions on the thruster. You can see the camera shadow on the left-hand wing there, just before I turned. The camera's now mounted on the rear spar. I tried mounting it on the front spar in several ways, but a bracket mounted on the rear spar was far more simple to engineer, had less vibration, and gave a much better field of view. I also tried my younger son's GoPro 10. It was mounted on a stick, tie-wrapped to the A-frame behind the cockpit. Terribly crude, just a quick lash up to see what the picture would be like, to give a passenger eye view, similar to my camera setup in the Ronx T3. I didn't think these pictures were going to be any good, because the camera appeared to vibrate a lot. However, the software in the GoPro 10 is so much better than the 5 that it automatically damps out the vibration. The picture is really good. The auto stabilization means the aeroplane appears to wobble around a bit. That's just a function of the software of the camera. I was able to control the GoPro 5 through my phone, which was quite useful. So I took a few minutes worth of footage just to see if I got any vibration from the bracket. It appeared to be pretty rock steady. You can see the auto stabilization at work here, as the aeroplane appears to move slightly in the picture, but it was good. I'm going to use it again. I've also made another bracket for the GoPro 10, which still fits on the A-frame behind the cockpit. It's wooden, but a lot better made than the lash-up, which was a quick 5-minute job. I'll test it soon. I thought I'd try both GoPros on the Vauxhall as well, to see what the difference was. This is the GoPro 5. It's clamped to the top of the spare wheel holder, pointing backwards. And as you can see, it does vibrate quite a lot. This is the GoPro 10. You'll notice when I turn the car GoPro tends to pan. Again, this is a function of the auto stabilization, but it does make for a much smoother picture. The GoPro 10 seems much better on the Vauxhall than the 5. The sound quality is better as well. You'll have to indulge a few minutes of this. It satisfies my inner toad. Thanks for watching.